Now that Sid Meier's Civilization is more than 30 years old, it's a good time to look back at the whole series and the vision of history it gave us. In this video, we'll talk about the game's leaders. Who is considered to be the leader of a civilization? What has changed in the selection process for the leaders throughout the 6 games? The first game of the series was released in 1991, and we can see there that the end of the Cold War was a very recent event. Mao and Stalin were picked as leaders of China and Russia, 2 picks that don't seem so appropriate nowadays. But the picking of these leaders, together with Genghis Khan, clearly showed that both historical significance and military success would be important criteria, completely disregarding the moral legacy of the characters. For the human player, there was no difference between picking one leader or another, but the computer would play differently if playing an aggressive conqueror or a leader famous for other skills. The first game gave us a full list of characters that had literally been political leaders of their nations. The only exception was Gandhi, and his popularity among the players clearly showed the developers that this option, having popular historical characters that people simply associate with a certain country, could be repeated in future iterations. The only female leader in this game was Elizabeth I of England, and this lack of female playable characters takes us straight into the main change that took place in the second game. Civilization 2 included a male and female leader option for each civilization, although these leaders will only contact us through their emissaries. This is the only game in the series in which we don't get to actually see our rivals' faces. The new game also added 2 new criteria for a character to be the leader of a civilization. Carthage, for example, follows both of them. Its male option is a military general, even if he never actually ruled the civilization where he lived. On the female side, the inclusion of Dido opened up the doors to characters that are either mythical or whose real existence is at least doubtful. Unfortunately, there wasn't an appropriate female leader for every civilization, so the idea of having one option for each gender was abandoned in future iterations. Civilization 3 would go back to having just one leader per civilization, with their faces visible and their clothes changing through time, but it kept the mythical characters and generals that the second game introduced. With this new game, leaders begin showing their unique traits, which will not only change the way the computer plays the game, but will also give the player unique bonuses. This was a massive change to the series that made the civilization choice much more relevant and added much more variety to the gameplay. Civilization 4 went with a mixed approach between the previous games. Some civilizations only had one leader, while others could have 2 or even 3. Gender wasn't a factor, but it was important for them to be known for different characteristics, so the same civilization could be played in different ways. Religion was a massive change in the game, and it influenced diplomacy a lot. This was reflected in the way the AI played the game, with the most famously religious leaders caring a lot about whether you have the same religion as them or not. The fourth game also had more contemporary leaders than any other iteration in the entire series. This did, however, follow the same criteria established in the first game, in which every contemporary leader comes from the winning side of World War II. It is true that some ancient leaders were included, even if they eventually lost their wars, but these are characters that can be considered either brilliant or brave for other reasons. The losers of World War II don't have, of course, any positive auras around them, so it's no surprise that Germany or Japan got their leaders from other eras. Civilization 5 goes back to a simpler formula, so there's only one leader per civilization. The AI will, however, play them differently, so you still have some leaders that will try to invade you and others that will be more peaceful. The leaders in this game speak a language associated with their civilization, which was a very nice improvement.
Saludos.
It also gave us another famous meme of the series.
Would you be interested in a trade agreement with England?
Civilization 6 went back to giving each leader a specific trait, although this time they were even more unique than in the third or fourth game. A few civilizations got more than one leader, and the game introduced for the first time the concept of a leader that could lead 2 different cultures. The sixth game added a lot of new characters in an obvious effort to add uniqueness and variety to the game, The criteria to select the leaders didn't change much, however, and though most of the leaders are still victorious military leaders, we have some civilian administrators, some people that we associate with a certain country because of their popularity, and even our usual mythical characters. Overall, the games have given us a wide variety of leaders, allowing for very different playstyles and diplomatic solutions. We can't tell which new leaders will appear in a future Civilization 7, but we know that at the time only 4 leaders have appeared in every game of the series. Who do you think these 4 leaders are? Which leaders do you think have been forgotten and should be included in future games? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as usual, thank you very much for watching.